Ethan, didn't get a chance to talk to you yesterday, but what was the injury and how did it progress from yesterday to today where you felt like you could play?
It was just a hairline fracture in my fifth metacarpal, and I woke up this morning and the swelling was down, and I just was like, let's just play, let's try it out, and it worked out for me, and I played through a lot of pain, but it is what it is.
Dylan, outside the home runs, how'd you feel about your start today?
I felt good. Just tried to get the team everything I had. I knew backs were against the wall with having to win 3 straight, so I told Coach Matt and King that I'll give you guys everything that I got, so I feel like I did that.
Ethan, now there's a full season done now. How would you evaluate this year, both for yourself and for the team as a whole?
I think it was a good year. I thought we had a lot of ups and downs, and we had a lot more ups than downs. But it's just we learned a lot from this year, and we're gonna take it into next year, and rebuild a team, and become great.
Ethan, I know it's kind of early to process these thoughts, but you sat at the table in Gainesville last year talking about how you needed to step up and be a leader for this season. As you sit there today, what are your thoughts going into the offseason on what your responsibilities are?
I think the same way as I did when I stepped into Gainesville. Now I might not have no Cole anymore, so someone might need to step up with me, or I can just take charge and set the tone for the whole team.
Ethan, you guys saw a lot of Burke out there in 2 outings. What made him so difficult?
Just threw a lot of strikes. He had his stuff, obviously, and just threw a lot of strikes. We were just trying to do too much on a guy that didn't have a lot of velocity, and we just try to overswing. And when you overswing, your swing gets slower, and we just didn't do our job.
Back here. Dylan, obviously the loss is the most recent memory, but how do you want to remember this season?
This season was, like Ethan said, a lot of ups and downs, but I remember it with the guys. We had a great time together on and off the field, and built such a close bond with one another. And like Coach King was saying after the game, that we'll all be friends 30 years from now. So that's what I'll remember from this team is how close we were.
Mark, what did you see from Burke out there, especially as the innings kept going and the swings just weren't quite getting there?
Yeah, he's a very, very heavy ground ball pitcher, which against us, we're obviously a power team. It's a matchup that was tough. He threw a lot of strikes. He only walked 2 guys today. So you've got to tip your cap that he made a lot of great pitches. Even when he walked a couple guys, he induced a double play ground ball. And look, it was a quality lefty that matched up well against us today, and he got us. So tip my cap to him.
Mark, what is your assessment of this season overall, going back to February to now, and ultimately the end result?
Yeah, again, it was a good season. I don't think any time you make the NCAA tournament out of the SEC, you can call it a failure. It's still, we want to get better, obviously. We still want to be getting further in the postseason than we did. But I don't think you can call it a failure. Only 64 teams made it. We want to be one of the last 8, clearly. So that is very disappointing. I'm disappointed for those kids that gave it everything they had, and I'm disappointed that they had to suffer that frustration today. So, again, a good season, but always looking to have a great season.
Mark, it's into your 7th season. Do you feel the program's where it needs to be?
I think every program in the country wants to keep getting better. We're no different. The SEC is filled with teams that are dumping huge resources in, and I think it's just a matter of we need to continue to do everything we can to try to give this program what it needs to be successful. There's so many parts of our program that are in great shape. But obviously we need to keep getting better, bottom line.
Do you feel you have the support of the administration to get this program where it needs to be?
I'm sorry?
Do you feel you have the support of the administration to get the program where it needs to be?
I think everybody in South Carolina wants to win at a high level.
Mark, as you're sitting at the end of the bench and that third strike crosses the plate, what's kind of the emotions running through your head and what you're feeling at the time?
Yeah, at that point, you don't think about yourself. You don't think about anything other than the players that you're in charge of in that dugout and the disappointment you know they're about to feel. And you just wish you could do anything to help them. All you can do at that point is try to give them perspective, as Dylan mentioned. Look, it may not be for everybody, but I told them God's will brought us together. God's will decided today was the last day for us. They have nothing to be ashamed of. I just wanted to make sure they knew that we appreciated that they laid it all on the line all year, no matter what. And that's the message they needed to walk out of that ballpark with.
Coach, with the last two losses, both being two-run games and the margins being pretty thin, where do you think you guys kind of fell the most short, I guess, over the last 48 hours?
Well, today was just two solo shots. I mean, Dylan Eskew could not have done any better than he did today. He gave up a solo shot, and pitcher gave up a solo shot. I mean, those guys pitched their ass off. That's all you can ask. The reason we lost today was we didn't score runs. That guy had our number. And it's disappointing when that happens, but baseball makes that happen sometimes. Obviously, last night we walked in a run, and then they scored a run on the first and third play. Look, that's what went down. That's what went down.
Coach, you had a couple players the past couple days talk about how they're going to give everything they have because it could be their last collegiate baseball game. What do you hope that those grad transfers and those seniors and those fifth years take with them after this season in life after baseball?
Yeah, just in talking to them after the game, I know every one of them felt like this was one of the best years of their baseball life, which is what you want to hear as a coach. I think they all grew on and off the field. They became better players. I would hope that our leadership helped them to become better people and learn a lot of things about how do you handle adversity, how do you bounce back, and it will serve them well for the rest of their lives. We've got a lot of great kids from great families with great foundations, and our job as coaches is just to continue to build on that, and I'll walk out of here today knowing we are doing that.
Do two more for Coach.
Replay went against you twice today in two critical situations. What did you see from your vantage point?
Yeah, the frustrating thing, Phil, is that we're in a centralized situation. So you can't even ask the umpires really, how did you see it? They made the call on the field, and then somebody sitting in an office decided to make a call. And I saw the replay on the board of Tippett's bunt. Nobody in the dugout thought it would go against us, but it did. And I didn't see the Brewer replay. But the guys in the dugout said they didn't think he made any move to try to get hit, and they both went against us, Sometimes God's will. It is what it is.